Hey everyone, welcome back and happy Monday. All right, guys. Well, we're back to talk about Vanderpump Rules. We have so many stories for you, so this is going to be a little bit longer of a video. We're just going to condense everything. This was interesting. Not only do we have Lisa Vanderpump addressing the controversy that came with Marciano on Vanderpump Villa, but also the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And yes, this was addressed on their own show. But then also Billie Lee. I know you guys remember Billie Lee. She came out and opened up about her time as a worker. On top of that, we have Lala Kent, who is literally comparing Jesse and Jax. And we have Tom Schwartz, who is addressing whether or not he would ever do business with Tom Sandoval again. I think we have a lot to talk about, lots to discuss. Now, before we jump in, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, pop off in the comment section. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, and let's go. All right, guys. So before we jump in, everyone is always asking me about my skin, and I appreciate the heck out of you guys. It's not really like a big secret. It is my Blue Mean Face Pro 2.0. So with the press of a button, I can change the settings. But if you hear it, it feels like a little massage. And it uses little microcurrents to lift, illuminate, rejuvenate your skin, and take the inflammation out, which is so great, especially if you're traveling. Best part is if you don't absolutely love it, they will refund you 100%. If it doesn't reduce your double chin, they will refund you 100%. Normally, this guy is $300, but if you click on my link that I'm posting in the description and pinning in the comment section, you get it for $200 off. Now, that is a product I can get behind. But with that, I wanted to start with the Billie Lee of it all because Billie Lee ended up opening up about her time working at SUR, but also coming into Los Angeles and what that looked like. She said, for the longest time, like I had the resume to match so many different jobs and really it put me out there. But and this makes me feel really sad for her. She said, as a trans woman, there were so many challenges in the job market where she would go and she would apply to places, but people didn't really know what to do with her. So she was more limited to the jobs that she could take on because she was a trans woman. I think that that's absolutely horrible. But do I recognize that that would be a very real situation for her? Yeah, 100%. It makes me sad that that is a very real situation for her. But she did open up too and say that in her 20s, she ended up going into sex work and she would go and meet up with different guys and it fulfilled her. Now, the fact that she's opening up about this, I was like, what? Like, because it sounds so taboo, right? But she was saying, I would meet up with these guys. It's not like I was on the street or anything, but I would meet up with these guys at hotels or whatever in Beverly Hills, and they would wine and dine me, and they would hit on me, and they would treat me like a woman. And she said that there were moments where she would show up to these different guys' hotel rooms, and she always took precautions. I was like, okay, well, what were the precautions? She said, I would go to a hotel and I would make sure that I checked in at the front desk. I would make sure that the security cameras saw me. I would make sure that when I went into the room of whoever the guy was, before I got into their bed, I would check all of their cabinets. I would check their bathrooms. I would check everything to make sure that I was safe. And she always carried a pocket knife. I'm like, this just sounds terrifying to me. But she said for her, it was fulfilling. So, okay. I mean, it's different. Something that I would be scared to do, but that doesn't mean that it's not something that people do every single day. And I think that's the most important thing to note in this situation. However, at the end of the day, like I would just be so concerned for her safety, But again, I do understand that people do this. And for her, she explained how it made her feel like she had self-worth and that people really treated her like a woman. So that's what are you going to say about that, right? So Billie Lee, Thank you for sharing that. I think that it takes a lot of goal to be able to share something like that. And I also think that that was probably not the easiest thing to open up about. But there are so many other people out there who are engaging in the same acts for money. And it's good. It's good for people to hear. So, with that, too, there's a lot of controversy. We're going to move on to the next Vanderpump topic. There's a lot of controversy when it comes to Lisa Vanderpump's show, Vanderpump Villa, and the drama surrounding Marciano, also with some of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives cast. Now, I don't know, I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but if you haven't seen the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives season 2, you get a lot of the at the finale, on the finale episode, where you find out what the real truth is, even though we've had Demi and other people come forward about what was going on. But she pretty much said the situation is not so black and white. In the castle, they have cameras watching every single angle. And that's why she put out the anti-bullying statement, because she wanted people to know, listen, there's a lot more to the story. We see this. All I ask of you guys as viewers is to watch it, knowing that these are heavily edited episodes and that the truth does come out. So you just have to give it a minute. And I think the way that she presented that was incredibly smart. It doesn't mean that a lot of people are going to be accepting of it. However, it landed. I mean, it landed very, very heavily, especially after she dropped the anti-bullying post. And now, honestly, after seeing Marciano on the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and then also hearing what some of the cast had to say about his alleged actions, I was a little confused. I was confused. Not saying that if there is a woman who's coming forward, by the way, I just want to preface this. If there's a woman coming forward saying that she has been targeted in any certain way, I listen to that with open ears. You know, I think that we all do. I think that people can easily be taken advantage of, especially if you're stunning and, you know, you have people who think that they are on top of the world and they feel like they can get away with anything. If you look at Gary from Below Deck, like Gary, it was in the Rolling Stone. Like, he thought he could get away with anything. I think that there's a lot of people out there like that. So I just wanted to, you know, preface that by saying that. But moving on. She also addressed Garcelle unfollowing the cast, and she did this a while back, but she said, you know, like, I feel like lions don't fall in line with sheep. So that's fine. But when she was asked about Scheana Shay in her book, I think her answer was great. She was just saying, listen, I'm somebody who gave you guys a massive platform and an opportunity. Yes, you guys put yourselves out there. Yes, you guys did the work. You shared your relationships. You shared your drama. You shared your conflict and resolution. However, this happens in life anyways. And I gave you a platform to not only share that, but monetize off of it. So I don't know why you would be coming back and writing about me in a book. But if you are going to come back and write about me in a book, that's okay. I've been on TV for a long time and I'm not worried about it. And I was like, oh, look at her go. But moving on, Lala Kent also, she criticized Jax Taylor and Jesse Lally because they are both currently going through divorce and custody situations on the show. But what I thought was interesting was she described, this part's not interesting, this is obvious. She described Jax Taylor as very manipulative, but she also said he's not smart enough to be calculated. Now, when I was looking at this and reading the article and listening to her podcast, when she was going through, I was like, oh no, she's right. It's like, if Jax Taylor makes a move, he is not that manipulative as far as like where you're going to get away with it. Like, if Jax Taylor went and took somebody out, we're going to know that it was Jax Taylor, because Jax Taylor doesn't move in silence. He doesn't move like a snake. He's just very in your face. I am Jax Taylor. I do whatever I want. Now, as for Jesse Lally, she was claiming that Jesse has this ability to be incredibly calculated, but the way that he presents himself, like, he's too smart to ever present himself in a negative way on camera, which I don't necessarily agree, because if you're watching the new episodes of The Valley, the new season of The Valley, you can see where he does have some anger issues. However, at the end of the day, do I think that he presents himself in a way that favors him? Yeah, I just think he's still super, super new on TV. And I think that eventually those guards will be like those walls will be broken down. But when it came to her discussing the authenticity of the friendships that are formed on Bravo, she did give Bravo all of the accolades, saying that Bravo does a great job pairing people together and that those friendships and those dynamics, those are very real for the most part, because in my mind, I would think that it would be like a sisterhood and that they're all coming together to do the same thing. It's not a very normal setting, especially in the workplace. And I could see where, listen, some of the behaviors would be influenced and the dynamics would be influenced by filming. However, at the end of the day, you guys are all doing the same shit. You want the same result. You want high ratings. You want camera time. You want to make sure that the show is successful. You want to make sure that those paychecks keep rolling in. So with what she's saying with that, I was like, yeah. And she shared that Alex Baskin also mentioned the challenge of capturing all of the relevant stories. So Alex Baskin did come out and say this, but what he ultimately was saying was sometimes it's kind of hard because when cameras go down, they know that they're missing a lot of the storylines that are happening, especially when the Valley went down. You know, as soon as the Valley went down, we're getting divorces, we're getting custody battles, we're getting a lot of things, we're getting big meltdowns, but the cameras are not capturing any of this. Bravo in the last 4 years, especially since Scandal, they've done a great job, even with Carl Radke and Lindsay Hubbard picking the cameras back up and catching things. Even on the Real Housewives of Orange County with Tamra Judge and Jennifer Pedranti and Ryan Boyajian, all of those things were captured because Bravo made the effort to pick the cameras back up and not miss a lot of these big, big, big moments. But moving on. This is another thing that I wanted to talk about. Tom Schwartz and Tom Sandoval. Tom Schwartz and Sandoval's bar, Schwartz and Sandy's, as you guys know, it closed in December. This was only after 2 years being open, but he did express that the business venture, ultimately, it impacted his friendship, and he said he would never go into business again with Tom Sandoval. He also said that he still thinks that he's, he considers him like a brother, and there is a trust between them, but that trust has also been irreparably damaged. I see everything that he's saying. He cost Sandoval a lot of money with his actions. He cost Schwartz a lot of money with his actions. He also, Schwartz, really took a lot of bullets for Sandoval. That was his choice, but it impacted his relationship with so many of the other cast members. It also impacted their business, and it lost them a lot of money because both of them invested their life savings into the bar, and Sandoval also used, it was about $250,000 from his mother's retirement fund. So it was the financial stress and the disagreements that led to a lot of conflicts with their investor. And he felt abandoned by Sandoval during Scandal because Sandoval just disappeared and he started doing other things. Now, as far as future endeavors, they are both recovering financially, but Tom Schwartz is exploring opportunities and is trying to, I think, stay on TV, which makes a lot of sense. Now, I want to hear what you guys think about all of that. But before we do, I also wanted to share a couple videos real quick with you when it comes to Lala Kent and her podcast.
So I've seen pictures, and I don't want anyone to get hung up on the photos. Because if you remember correctly, I think it was season 10, they released the cast photos of us, you guys, and we all looked they made Katie's eyes either closer together or something. They made us all look not like ourselves.
They did you dirty.
Yes.
We
looked like wax figures. Okay.
So I know one of the girls that is going to be on the new season.
Okay.
And I met her like a year ago. We've been in touch. We've seen each other. And we follow each other on Instagram. But she is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I even saw like the photo of her. Still looks beautiful, but I was like, that's not her.
And next
is the nightlife just dead because of the new generation not drinking,
wanting to go to bed early.
Like they take care of their body. They're eating correct.
Let me tell you something. The coffee shops are popping.
That's what I'm saying. Like mornings, if you really want to party and go out, it's 8 a.m. and grabbing coffee with your friends. That is
right up my alley.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's where I'm saying, like, will a nightlife ever be revived if people don't want to go out at night? Because I'm that person. If you started a club, I'm not going.
No.
Last but not least.
So at Scheana's birthday, the theme was death to my 30s. So everyone dressed in black and then Scheana was in red. And I liked the red. I would have probably done white because I would feel like the white was like
a rebirth
I was
of
being,
your 40s.
Yes. Like I've submerged, you know, innocence.
But maybe she's coming into her 40s. Ha!
That's exactly what it is. I told her, take the bull by the balls this year. And you show him who the boss is.
She's coming in fuego.
She's got the book coming out. She's going to have a fabulous year.
Interesting. All right, guys. Honestly, at the end of the day, I want to hear what you think about all of this. From the Billie Lee, the Lisa Vanderpump, Marciano, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Lala Kent addressing Jax Taylor and Jesse Lally, and then, of course, Tom Schwartz addressing the end of an era when it comes to any sort of business relationships with Schwartz and Sandy's or Tom Sandoval, period. Pop off in the comment section. If you guys are not subscribed, get subscribed. Do not forget to check out our Blue Mean Face Pro 2.0. This guy is where it's at. And like I said, I'm putting the link in the description and also the comment section. I love you guys so much, and we'll see you so very soon. Bye.